All right, everyone. It is another Ashley the Trainer interview today. And we are going to be talking specifically about nutrition today, and even more specifically about the ketogenic diet, also known as the keto diet. And so I have a really amazing guest with me today, and I am going to let her introduce herself because no introduction I could give her would just do her justice. So I'm gonna let her do her introduction and tell you about her.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ashley. I'm so excited to be here. I am Tamara Lester. I am a mom of 4 kiddos. I'm married to a pastor, so I'm a pastor's wife. And I'm just someone who loves to learn and grow, and I'm excited to share more about this lifestyle that I have been playing around with for the last couple of years. I love everything that moves me forward. So when it comes to being able to share about a lifestyle that I really feel has transformed my life, that is just what I'm about. So I'm just super excited to be here with you.
Yay! Thank you. And I just want to go ahead and preface this by saying I'm probably going to call her First Lady because that's what she was to me. So I'm just used to calling her that. But also, I'm not a doctor. First Lady's not a doctor.
I'm not.
So by any means, I always say go check with your healthcare provider if you are wanting to try a new diet, because her results or her benefits are going to be specific to her. You may not have those same benefits or results. So I just always tell people when trying a new fitness plan or even trying a new diet plan to always take into consideration your health conditions and your different genetics. So, but without further ado, we're gonna get right into this interview.
Yeah, let's go.
So I think first, because I'm letting her be the expert today. I'm not the expert today. I'm learning today too, is just letting us know about the keto diet and specifically what type of keto diet you're on, because there's different versions and modifications to it. And just letting people know kind of what foods you can eat, you can't eat, that type of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, keto is short for ketosis. And I am glad that Ashley prefaced to say that I am not a nutritional expert by any means. I'm just sharing my own experience. But ketosis, and I did look this definition up. So it's a metabolic state that happens when you consume a low carb, moderate protein, high fat diet that causes your body to switch from using glucose as its primary source of fuel to running on ketones. And so what a lot of people who are in the keto world like to say is that you move from being a sugar burner to being a fat burner, okay? So what that means when we talk about low carb, medium protein, high fat, it's essentially low carb, meaning this diet does not include things like rice and bread and sugar, pastas, all the things we love. It does not include those. But what it does include are your meats, all of your meats that, from chicken, pork, beef, those types of meats. It likes other fatty types of meats too, veal and liver, things like that. And also low carb vegetables are also a part of this diet. As people start to research and learn about keto, to your point about there being so many different ways to do it, oh my goodness, the abundance, the over information that's out there is just crazy right now. And then high fat. So high fat would be that you can have things like different types of dairy. I like to include healthy fat. So when I do prepare food, I use olive oil as the base. I love avocados. I have probably almost every day an avocado. It's one of those healthy fats. But that fat satiates you. It satiates you. So when you are pulling back on the rice and the breads and all of those things that really fill you like in a normal, typical diet, if you ensure that you have some high quality, good content types of fat, you feel satiated. So you feel full throughout the day. And it is a lifestyle that is all over the board, to your point. It's really become like one of the hot ways to eat the last couple of years. Yep. So, yeah.
You just gave like the most amazing description of the keto diet. I was like, you're using all the words that I love and I like. And so essentially, what she's saying is you're gonna eat less of your carbs, less of your sugar, and more of your fats. And another thing I want to point out is people naturally think, and this is because of the media, that eating fat is bad or that all fat is bad. And that is not true. There's different types of fat. And like she said, healthy fats is what her particular ketogenic diet is focusing on. And so just making sure you do your research, because you need your monounsaturated fats, your polyunsaturated fats, you need those things. Unlike your trans fat, which would be kind of considered like your bad fat that you don't want to do a lot of. So I know a lot of people who are like, oh no, I can't do the keto because it's a high fat diet, but you need fat for a lot of the different progressions that your body needs to go through, and cell replication and all that fun science stuff that I won't talk about that makes me happy. But I just wanted to point that out, is that I naturally, when I heard about the keto diet, I was like, there's no way that can be healthy to have a high fat diet, low carb. But when you take in the fact that not all fats are created equally and there are healthy fats, it makes complete sense.
Absolutely.
So,
totally agree.
The other thing I want to ask you is, what made you decide to do the keto diet versus all the other diets out there?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier that I'm a mom of 4, and I found myself, I had all of my children in my 30s. And I got married when I was 30, and then a year after had my first child, and then all 4 of my kids came 1 year after the other. And I found myself after having my first child, I didn't get a chance to get the weight off. I gained quite a bit of pregnancy weight. And then I had Victoria for 4 months, and I became pregnant again. And that is actually what happened each pregnancy. So I had this compounding of extra weight that I was holding on to. I had gotten a new primary care physician in 2017, and they did the whole full panel, the whole physical. I hadn't had a new primary or that kind of testing done in a couple of years. And they determined that I was considered pre-diabetic. So they called me with the results. Hey, listen, Tamara, you're pre-diabetic. And so that means, that's something that we now test for, so we can help prevent people from becoming, getting type 2 diabetes. And, I said, so what do I do? And they said, and this is over the phone, they said, listen, you just need to cut out your sugar. You need to cut out your carbs, and you need to lose weight. I literally have a note from March of 2017 where we were on a trip, and I'm literally typing in what they're telling me. And so on that road trip home, I remember this, I started to Google what are good, literally diet for pre-diabetics. Yeah. And this again is in 2017. And what I found was a group of folks doing this type of diet who had wonderful results from a very similar situation like me, where they were trying to prevent themselves from becoming diabetic. And so I just stumbled on it. I'm so grateful that I did. I stumbled on it, and I dove in head first. So that's my personality. When I find something and I really want to grow and I want to learn about my research, I go all in. And so I'm telling you, Ashley, I bought books. I started to listen to podcasts every single day about this lifestyle. I bought cookbooks. I just really invested time to understand it a bit more. And there's a lot of scientific evidence that would support how this way of eating is beneficial. I mean, one of the early things that folks were eating this way, I think in the 30s, to prevent epilepsy. Like there's a tie to seizures and all kinds of things. There's a lot of mental enhancements, cognitive enhancements. Yeah. So people were really doing it years ago for that. But that's where it started. It was really me trying to prevent. I want to make sure I'm here. I have 4 kids. We have a very busy lifestyle, and I want to feel my best. And so I just started, after getting those results, and we had a 4-month follow-up. So they said, hey, listen, in 4 months, you're going to come back. We're going to rerun your numbers. And so that was that was a goal. I had a goal right away. I was like, okay, I'm going to lose some weight. I'm going to get these numbers down. And I did. And, so 4 months later, I did another panel, and my results were really great. They were asking me, what have you been doing? So that's really where it started from, was just the medical advice saying you need to change your diet. And then me figuring out what makes the most sense for me.
Right. And I love that you said that, like what made the most sense for you and what
Mm-hmm.
fit your lifestyle and what was going to help you get those results. And so you said 2017. So, and you're still doing it now, correct?
I am. I'm going to be very honest. I'm not 100% always, meaning I don't have a cheat. I have had cheat, what we would call cheat moments of getting off of that plan to celebrate a birthday here and there. But I tell you that when I first got that diagnosis, I think I went 6 or 7 months without deviating. So no sugar, no carbs, no bread, all of that for even through the holidays that year. But I am still eating that way today. It's just, I have some moments, 2020 coronavirus,
Okay, no. It's totally
moments.
justified. It is completely justified. And the biggest thing is just consistency. It's not about even being perfect with any plan.
Absolutely.
So I
I totally,
know for sure that consistency is way better than being perfect because nobody can be perfect with anything anyway. So
yes, I agree.
that is super exciting. So, okay, what would you say was kind of the most difficult part about doing the keto diet?
Well, I mean, when you first hear about it, it seems so restrictive, right? You're like, you're taking away all the things that I totally overindulged in, 10 years prior for 10 years. So I think that is a big change to go from eating, some French fries or potatoes or rice or whatever it may be almost daily to then, or sugar daily for sure, to then taking all of that away. I mean, that was not exciting to think about, and it was difficult. My first 6 weeks were very difficult. I distinctly remember, I thankfully had a friend doing it with me, and I would struggle, and we would help. That whole accountability thing we've heard
Right.
about for years is a real thing. It really does help. But we helped each other through that. And in all honesty, in those first about 4 weeks, I didn't have drastic results, getting on the scale, because I was really trying to lose weight and make sure, my side was also getting better and healing. And so consistency and determination is what kept me going. But that is difficult. You get past that, and then you realize, okay, I can't live my life always making 2 different meals for my family.
Right.
I kind of still in the beginning stages, especially making them normal, kind of, the American diet, and then something separate for me. And then I had to kind of start melding that. So that was hard. That can be hard for anyone, whatever lifestyle they're wanting to change. Your family's not necessarily on board, or they're not doing the same thing.
Right.
That can prove to be a little bit difficult. So those are the things, just the restrictiveness of, hey, you're taking my favorite food away.
Right.
And then trying to make it through being a mom. My family's the most important thing to me, caring for my family, but also caring for me. And this was a way that I had to care for myself by changing some of my food.
Well, I absolutely love that, how you said that, because I was like, a lot of times as moms, we put ourselves last, and then it's like, how can you take care of everybody if you're not in a good space? And so, like you said, you probably did have to take a little bit more time and prep work to fix them something and fix yourself something separate. But in the long run, which that was my next question, is what type of benefits? I think you've talked about some of them, is that
Yeah.
you were able to get the results you wanted for your medical results. But what other results, whether mental or physical, that you kind of see a part of doing the keto diet?
Yeah, I think, well, I've lost so far about a little bit over between 50 and 60 pounds from
Wow.
starting. Yeah. And a lot of that weight really kind of came off toward the first year of me doing this lifestyle. So there's that, for some of us, we're motivated just by that number,
Yes.
that's okay. Especially if your number is getting to where you're at the high end of what it should be. So
Right.
that taking weight off, there's so many, trickle down benefits to just being able to get your weight down. I mean,
Right.
a lot of your numbers go down just simply because of that. And then, I mentioned earlier some of the cognitive enhancements. So I personally know people who follow this type of lifestyle who are not trying to lose weight, but because they like the enhanced cognitive abilities, meaning things like being able to focus more, also just feeling like you're sharp. I think we've all kind of have that like sweet tooth hangover, you know, that you can feel when you overindulge in like cake or ice cream. So all of that's taken away. So that mental clarity is really a big proponent of it. Energy, I mean, that is huge. When you're in this state that most keto people are trying to strive to be in, that ketosis state.
Yeah.
You just have an energy level, you know. My husband laughs. He would say over the years, like, you must be in ketosis. Cause like, I'm like, I want to finish this project, whatever it is. I will not go to bed and get it, you know, until it's done. Like I'm laser focused on certain things sometimes. And it's just that ketosis state. So the energy, you just feel better because you're not spiking your energy, your glucose levels all day. You're not doing the whole, you know, high and then you dive down. Your mood is just stable. I would hope and pray. I think this is right, that I generally have a pretty stable mood.
Yeah.
You know, now we have our moments, but it just in general, I really think that's one of the other benefits of this type of lifestyle. So, you know, from weight to the mental clarity to the energy. And I think health is really about how you feel. Yes, there is the scale.
Right.
Yes, there's the number. Yes, we know if you lessen that, if you can get that numbers down, especially for someone who's considered obese or overweight, things will benefit from it. But it's really about how do I feel? And I can tell you, even the moments of the last 3 years where I've deviated from the plan of eating the keto lifestyle, I can literally have a moment of kind of getting off and I will feel it within an hour. And so I love the way that I feel when I'm eating as healthy as I can. You can't pay money for that. Like that's something that is really a blessing. So.
And I love the fact that you said that. Me being a nutrition coach and personal trainer, a lot of times we do get really saturated with just the physical looks and results. But I'm really big on how I feel, because I can look amazing, but if I still feel awful, it doesn't really balance out. And so that's one of the things that a high-fat diet does, a good healthy fat diet does, is it's good for brain health. So the fact that you say that makes sense. And when you're taking in all the sugar and the glucose, like you said, that really gives you that brain fog that a lot of people have a lot of the time after they eat something super sugary. So that is amazing how you focused on the fact that it helped your energy levels, as well as it helped you have mental clarity, as well as weight loss. So I'm like, that's like 3 for 3. That's what we're all asking for.
Yes, absolutely.
That is awesome. So did you see yourself when you first started the keto diet doing it for this long, or were you thinking, oh, I might try this for a couple months?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think I was looking, I mean, getting that call from the doctor's office was kind of a rude awakening. I knew how I was overweight, but hearing that enhanced everything. But in all honesty, because I had always, being a former athlete, you know, back in the day, you know, I've always kind of worked out. And so I've not struggled to that degree with weight. So I probably thought it would be like a quick fix, you know, kind of thing. Like, let me kind of do this for a while, then I'll be able to go back to, you know, how I live my life, which is a lot of sweets. But I think because of, again, just the way that it does make me feel, this will be a part of my lifestyle going forward, you know, but I'll have the opportunities here and there to kind of deviate from it. But overall, 90% of the time, you know, I really do want to, I think this will be a part of my long-term lifestyle. Yeah.
And so what advice would you give to anybody who's considering the keto diet, or what resources would you suggest they start with?
Yeah, I definitely, because it's become such a hot thing. I mean, even now you can see keto products at the grocery store and all over commercials. Say it again.
I saw keto coffee the other day. I was like,
and it's like this big, you know, that the whole health industry is this, you know, billion-dollar industry. I try to tell people that number one, don't buy a keto diet plan. Like, if you are interested, if you Google it today, it's so easy to kind of get caught up in paying someone money
Right.
to help you with this. I really think that is a waste of your time and effort. I just recommend that if you invest in anything, I recommend you invest in books. You know, I recommend you invest in cookbooks. If you are someone who enjoys cooking at any level, or even if you don't enjoy it, you got to do it. You know, I would say if I were to spend money, if I were starting from the very beginning, I would right away get maybe one pretty good keto book, and you can look at Google reviews and see what's out there. And I'm happy to recommend some books too. And then also, and we maybe put them in the notes or something, Ashley, and also I would recommend cookbooks. Now, the other piece to that is you can get those from the library. And right now, and all that library stuff, you can just do it online. You can get it on your iPhone. Yeah. I just found out you can actually check out cookbooks. Like, that was fantastic to find out. A way for you to get great recipes and all of that. I would do that. And I mentioned earlier how I really invested in podcasts. So it's really more about the education is the whole, what I would overall recommend that you don't spend time just simply paying someone for meal plans, because that is the hot thing right now. But you try to research it, whatever method makes the most sense for you, research on your own. Understand the benefits, understand more about it. And then if you're someone who's on social media, you can follow a couple of people who are not pushing products, but who are just sharing their lifestyle. I did that right away. I started to follow the hashtag keto years ago. And so I still actually get every day, I can see the top keto posts, and I can just get inspiration, you know, from other people who've had success. So it's more about that whole research thing. There are some great books. One of the books that I read, I have it in front of me, was called Keto Clarity by Jimmy Moore. And Jimmy Moore has a podcast. So when I got his book, I then went into the world of his podcast. I've since ventured on, but he gave me a great foundation. He always has doctors. He wrote this book with a doctor, an MD. So I would recommend kind of coupling anything you're reading and investing in and learning from, that there is some type of a medical authority.
Right. Those are great resources, and I will link everything down below in the notes. Where can people find you if you want them to find you?
I'm gonna tell you, this is one of my favorite topics. So if anyone is interested in learning a little bit more about keto and just want to ask a normal person who's had some success with it, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook, Tamara Lester. I share a lot about my family and things like that, but I'll share some keto things here. But you can direct message me. I am happy to connect with you if you have any questions at all. This makes me so happy when people are just trying to grow and become a better version of themselves, but most importantly, to take good care of themselves, because what we do, especially mamas, what we do for us just trickles down into our family. So I'm happy to share any tips, tricks, or answer any questions for anyone.
And y'all see why I say she's so amazing? She wants to help. Thank you so much, First Lady, for doing this interview today. It meant a lot to me because it's just my heart and my passion to help people live their best and healthiest lifestyle, and to be able to give these types of tips for free and resources for free is super duper important to me. And so thank you so much for being here. And if you guys enjoyed this content, make sure you like the video, you share the video, and then go check me out at ashleythetrainer.com for some free resources and different programs there regarding nutrition coaching. And so if you don't have anything else, First Lady, I think we are done here.
I would just recommend follow Ashley, guys. She's got wonderful tips. She has helped me in my physical activity side. So coupling a wonderful diet or way of eating and exercise has been phenomenal. She's introduced me to some apps that I still use almost daily today. So follow Ashley. She has awesome content. She knows what she's doing. She has research. She knows her stuff. So make sure you guys are following her and subscribe to her channel. I highly recommend it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, First Lady.
Thank you, Ashley. I loved every minute of it. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.